Chapel Hill is a calm community in North Carolina, known for its prestigious university and peaceful atmosphere. With the daily activity of students and academic life, it's a place where both residents and visitors feel safe and secure. But on this night, something terrible happened. A sense of danger crept in, disturbing the peace and hiding in the shadows. Ready to strike gunshots broke the silence, disrupting the calm night. The noise echoed through the streets, completely different from the usual peace. 3 young lives were ended, their futures taken away in an instant. Their names, DeAndre Barnett, Usur AbuSalha, and Rosan AbuSalha. They were more than just names. They were beloved members of their community, cherished by their families and friends. A tragic act of violence that deeply affected the entire nation. The news spread rapidly and the shared grief was deeply felt. People from all backgrounds joined together to mourn the loss of these promising individuals, the idyllic image of Chapel Hill, forever scarred. The town, once a symbol of peace and academic excellence, now bore the marks of this tragic event. The victims were students, bright, promising individuals, full of life and ambition. They had dreams and aspirations, hopes for the future that would never be realized. Their families and friends were devastated. The pain of their loss was immeasurable, a wound that would never fully heal. How could this happen here? In this place of learning and tolerance. A place where diversity was celebrated, and people from different backgrounds lived in harmony? The question lingered in the air, heavy and unanswered. It was a question that haunted the minds of everyone in Chapel Hill and beyond. The search for answers began. Law enforcement and investigators worked tirelessly to piece together the events of that fateful night, seeking justice for the victims and their families. DeAndre Barnett, a name synonymous with kindness and generosity. His life was a testament to the power of compassion and the impact one individual can have on their community. At the age of 23, DeAndre was a dedicated student at the University of North Carolina School of Dentistry. His passion for helping others was evident in everything he did, from his studies to his volunteer work. He was driven by a desire to make a difference, to use his skills to bring smiles to those who needed it most. Usur AbuSalha, a radiant young woman full of life and love. At 21, a recent graduate of North Carolina State University, she was about to join her husband, DAH, at the UNC School of Dentistry. She had dreams, aspirations of making a difference, just like her husband. Usur was known for her infectious laugh, her kind heart. She radiated warmth and compassion, had a way of making everyone feel special, loved, and appreciated. She was a loyal friend, a loving daughter and sister. Her presence brightened the lives of those around her, her light extinguished too soon. Rosan AbuSalha, the youngest of the 3 victims, only 19 years old. A talented artist, a student at North Carolina State University, full of dreams and a passion for design. She had a creative spirit, a unique way of seeing the world. Rosan was known for her infectious energy, her quick wit. She brought joy to everyone around her, was fiercely loyal to her family and friends, always there to offer support, to make them laugh. Her life was a tapestry of creativity and compassion, a vibrant soul taken too soon. The suspect, a man named Craig Stephen Hicks, was a neighbor of the victims, residing in the same condominium complex. At 46 years old and unemployed, Hicks was known to have a short temper, with a history of conflicts with neighbors. Described as volatile and quick to anger, he was often confrontational, frequently complaining about noise and parking spaces. His simmering anger, it seems, boiled over on that tragic February night. The investigation kicked off immediately, with police working tirelessly to piece together the events leading up to the shooting. The motive, however, seemed unclear. Was this a hate crime fueled by religious intolerance, or merely a personal dispute, a conflict between neighbors? Given that the victims were all Muslim and were wearing traditional Muslim clothing, many believed the shooting was motivated by hate, by Islamophobia. The investigation thus delved into Hicks's background, his online activity, and his interactions with the victims, examining the evidence with care. 2 years after the shooting, the trial of Craig Stephen Hicks commenced. The prosecution argued that the murders were premeditated, driven by Hicks's hatred and prejudice, showcasing evidence of his history of anger, his anti-religious views, and his confrontations with the victims. Meanwhile, the defense contended that the shooting stemmed from a parking dispute, not a hate crime, claiming Hicks was suffering from mental illness and was not in control of his actions. After 4 days of deliberation, the jury found Hicks guilty on all counts and 1 count of shooting into an occupied dwelling. The Chapel Hill community was devastated by the shooting. The tragedy sent shockwaves throughout the town and across the nation. Vigils were held, memorials were created, and people came together to mourn the loss of 3 young lives and to offer support to their families. The community responded with an outpouring of love and support. They showed their solidarity with the Muslim community, condemned the act of violence, and vowed to fight against hate and intolerance. Chapel Hill stood united in grief and in their determination to heal. The shooting left them feeling vulnerable, targeted. They faced a wave of Islamophobia, hate speech, and discrimination. They had lost 3 of their own in a senseless act of violence. The community leaned on each other for support, found strength in their faith, spoke out against hate, advocated for justice, and refused to be silenced. They turned their grief into action, working to combat Islamophobia and to promote understanding and tolerance. The victims of the Chapel Hill shooting left behind a legacy of love and compassion. Their lives, though tragically cut short, continue to resonate deeply within the hearts of many. Their deaths sparked a national conversation about hate crimes, about Islamophobia, and about the importance of tolerance and understanding. The tragedy brought to light the pervasive issues of prejudice and discrimination that many face daily. It served as a stark reminder of the work that still needs to be done to foster a more inclusive and accepting society. Their families and friends established foundations in their names to continue their legacy of service, to promote education, to combat hunger, and to provide dental care to those in need. These foundations have become beacons of hope, channeling the same spirit of generosity and compassion that DIA, Usur, and Rosan embodied. Through scholarships, community programs, and international aid, their impact continues to grow, touching countless lives around the world. The Chapel Hill shooting was a tragedy that shook the nation. It was a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of hate and intolerance. But it also brought to light the resilience of the human spirit, the power of community, and the importance of standing up for what is right. DeAndre Barnett, Usur AbuSalha, and Rosan AbuSalha were taken from this world too soon, but their lives continue to inspire. Their legacy lives on in the hearts of those who love them, and in the countless lives they touched. They will never be forgotten.